How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas writing a blistering 20-page Supreme Court opinion about abortion as it relates to eugenics. Now, before I even get into what he said, I got to back up a little bit here to explain what's going on, what's the context of this, and why Justice Thomas had to write what he wrote. Now, the Supreme Court recently upheld part of an Indiana law that was signed by Mike Pence in 2016 relating to abortion. This law that Pence signed said that all aborted babies must be properly disposed of, either buried or cremated. That's very important because there was this big scandal in LA where they found like 16,500 aborted babies in a dumpster or in a quote unquote storage unit. Okay, because when you have an abortion, what that is you're dismembering a baby limb by limb. You're decapitating the baby. You're not just rubbing some kind of magic cream on the mother's belly and then having the baby just disintegrate into nothing. You are dismembering a human being. That's what's going on. But I digress. So they upheld that part, but they did not rule on the other part, which is what we're talking about right now. And that is the law said that you cannot terminate a pregnancy based upon the baby's color, sex, national origin, or disability, like if they may have Down syndrome. Okay, you cannot discriminate against a baby in the womb. Now, they didn't rule on that yet because they want to allow other lower courts to rule on it first. But at a certain point, they are going to rule on it. And this is what Justice Thomas was talking about in this 20-page Supreme Court opinion about abortion. He was saying that this particular thing, if it's not allowed to go through, abortion could be used as a tool of eugenics. Now, if you don't know what eugenics is, in a nutshell, it's a process of selectively breeding desirable characteristics in human beings. Now, if a baby is in gestation without the desirable characteristics, without the right color, without the right gender, without the right state as far as their mobility or whatever, then they can be aborted. You know, in some places they do that. In Iceland, there are no babies in Iceland born with Down syndrome because they test for Down syndrome before the baby is born. And if they test positive, they have an abortion. That's standard practice in Iceland. So that is eugenics. And what it really boils down to is you got to start killing people in order to achieve your desired results. Justice Thomas, rightfully so, does not want to have that happen. He brought up Margaret Sanger. He brought up how the Nazis were involved because let's not forget, the Nazis were really big on eugenics. And it got down to not just the abortion, because you did have abortion in Nazi Germany, contrary to popular belief. It was just for certain people, you know, I'm talking about abortion was all good. Just like gun control, but that's a different story. It went from just killing the baby in the womb to killing just regular everyday people walking and talking. Okay, you're the wrong religion. You're the wrong ethnic group. You're the wrong color. You're the wrong sexuality. You have too much money. You have too little money. Because it's all about trying to have the desirable characteristics of people in your society. You want the quote unquote Aryan race, the blonde hair, blue eyes. That's what you want. So if you don't have that, we're just going to kill you. Either before you're born, we can just call it abortion, and then we don't have our hands dirty with blood, and you know we're not being called murderers by most of society, even though that's what it is. Or we can kill you afterwards, and then we're going to convince society that it was needed. You know, we're not talking about those that have committed a crime, because someone's going to say, "Oh, how are you going to be against abortion and for the death penalty?" Well, I mean, if you kill 13 women and little girls, I mean, like, what's going to happen? Like, some people have to actually get killed, because you can kill somebody in self-defense. If a person is attacking you, you can kill them in self-defense. But a baby, where is the actual justification for killing an innocent baby? What can a baby do? Now, there are certain exceptions, obviously. I think the main thing would be life of the mother. If the mother is going to die, like there couldn't be a C-section delivery or anything like that, you have to have an abortion, then that'd be something else. And I think also in the Indiana law, if the baby's going to pass away within the first 3 months, then abortion may be justified because the baby has no chance of really being able to survive. But beyond that, no, have the baby. And shout out to Justice Clarence Thomas for writing this 20-page opinion. I think that it's available. I'm going to read through the whole thing and check it out. And I implore all of you to do the same. If I can find a link for that opinion, I'll place that in the description box below. This should be converted into a book, in my humble opinion, because eugenics is a real thing. You have people out there that want certain desirable traits from their baby. I mean, we're getting into that right now with this whole, you're freezing eggs and embryos, whatever they want to call it, and you're trying to create babies, designer babies, if you will. So if the baby in gestation of a surrogate or something like that is found out to not have the desired qualities, then you could just say, all right, I want to terminate the baby, or have a clause in the contract that says that the baby shall be terminated if there are certain characteristics in pregnancy that we don't want. There are quite a few things that support the eugenics argument as being a real thing and not just some kind of quote unquote conspiracy theory. Did you know that despite black women only being about 13% of the U.S. population, they're around 34% of the abortions? In New York City and other places around the United States, there are more black babies aborted and actually born. In New York, it's by a margin of 8,000 or so. So you have 8,000 thereabout more black babies that are aborted every year than are actually born in one city in New York. Okay. Did you know that 80% of the Planned Parenthoods are located close to either black or Hispanic neighborhoods? 80%. In Alabama, where they passed that law that was seen as quote unquote racist against black women, 28% of the population are black women, but 60% of the abortions are black women. So if black folks are to be seen as undesirable and all this and that by Margaret Sanger, who started Planned Parenthood, by the Nazis who were racist, and they were big proponents of abortion and eugenics, it's hard not to see the correlation between eugenics, racism, race elimination. It's clear what's going on. The question is, what are we going to do to stop it? Hopefully within the next few years or sooner than that, we have Roe v. Wade repealed. If it were up to me, I would say there would be no abortions nationwide. It wouldn't be a states' rights issue. But to compromise, I would say leave it up to the states, because Roe v. Wade makes it, I guess we would call it case law. It's not really law, but that's a different story. I guess that makes it legal nationwide. And the only way you can say that it's not would be to go to court and then have it, debated there. Hopefully Clarence Thomas and the other Supreme Court justices that have a brain in their head will make the correct decision here. So that's pretty much all I got. What say you? Do you agree with Justice Thomas that if we do not allow this Indiana law to go into effect, that abortion could be used for eugenics? If we say that it's legal to kill a baby because of their race, their gender, disability, where does that actually stop? Why not just kill a baby for whatever reason you want? Oh, the eyes ain't blue. I mean, that is eugenics 100% of the way. People are going to criticize him, talking about, oh, he's just anti-abortion. But nothing that he's talking about here is incorrect. Margaret Sanger was a big-time eugenicist. The Nazis were the same thing, and they employed the same abortion tactics that are done right now in the US of A. So let's just stop this madness and go back to a time where things just made more sense. All right. Give innocent babies a chance at life, because I know that we all want a chance at life as well. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.